Back of the Bus podcast coming to you with another comic book review. This week we've got Black Panther issue 6. Writer John Ridley, artist we got Landy and Milla Milla
Miller, yeah,
on color.
Matt Miller.
Matt Miller on colors. Title of this book is called The Long Shadow. Now, before we start getting into this book, I have to kind of announce this because for the last 2 weeks, I've been trying my damnedest to protect the reputation of black writers at Marvel, specifically black writers who have done the title Black Panther, who have been working on that title, and trying my best to find any amount of bail to throw not just John Ridley, but all black writers who had the opportunity to write on Black Panther. I stand by about 95% of what I say.
You
Right?
said
I'm not taking it back. I ain't walking it back. Yeah, because I still believe that regardless of what you think about these writers, none of this shit happens in a vacuum. These writers have to be hired. They have to have their vision for the character okay before they start writing. And as they start writing, they still have to have each issue checked by an editor. This is still a writing job. Still a writing job. This is not one person's responsibility. So if you have a problem with this book, it's a lot more than John Ridley, or excuse me, there are a lot more people that you're upset with than just John Ridley. With that being said, John Ridley has done absolutely nothing in this run to help us defend him, to give us anything to fight for, and even the things that he was working on, the things that he was cultivating, have turned into cartoonish love and hip hop mixed with I don't even know. It's devolved into mess. Even the good parts, right? The things that we previously championed about this run have gone to the wayside. Anybody seen the random assassins that was going after the war dogs? Anybody seen a war dog in about 4 issues? That was the spy and espionage piece of this arc that was sold to us that has not fleshed. So any thoughts on that before we get into it?
I agree with everything that you said. I have my own opinions, but as I said, you shed some great light on, it not just being on the writer. They got the editor. They got the editor in chief that they have to go through and everything. But when we look at the writing on the overall book, like you said, we were promised a spy and espionage story, and it looked good for 2 issues. We weren't necessarily thrown off when he had to go to Morocco. We was like, okay, we get that. But if you've been rocking with the book, you've been rocking with the character. This is what civil unrest number 3, 4 in the character's history. And if we think about it, we never heard of civil unrest under Sion's watch, under T'Challa's watch. Maybe that's because those are characters that, by the time they introduced T'Challa was the Black Panther. So to have that type of strife, they would have to rewrite some new story. Mm-hmm. So here we are, and I'm looking at, I'm reading the book, and we aren't the only YouTubers that review comic books and everything like that. So you've heard what others have said, and you look at what you said last time we reviewed Black Panther. The language, the verbiage that's used in the book. And so you read the book and you like, I get more T'Challa or more authentic T'Challa. This me. If he guest stars in a book.
Star Panther?
If he guest stars in a book, if he's on the team in that book, Avengers. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Hell, Moon Knight. Got a better depiction than Moon Knight.
He acts like T'Challa. I come over here and it's like, okay, let's say T'Challa's in his 30s. The character's in his mid-30s. Okay, well, you've been the king of Wakanda since your early 20s. Why are these folks talking to you like this? And how are they talking to you like this? Because I don't think this is necessarily the language of Wakandans. let's go right on here. Let's go right on here.
I was gonna say we're gonna have an opportunity to delve back into just about everything we just talked about again at some point in this book. So let's go ahead and get to it. We got the first panel here. T'Challa's hopping out the trees, is picking up right where we left off on issue 5. And
What are they what are they saying in the first page? What are they saying?
Kill T'Challa.
I'm not writing this. You didn't write this. I just don't know how many times we gonna see this. We should count. We should count. Matter of fact, you and Josh, y'all count how many times that sentence pops up in this damn.
It's almost as if it's the only thing that they can say for a while. Like literally, it gets a little weird. Like
I was asking myself, are they mind controlled? Because that's the only reason.
Is it Hatut Zeraze robots or something? Like why do they keep repeating the same thing over and over again? It's like it's cartoonish. It's like if you was watching Spidey and his amazing friends, and it was some Hatut Zeraze that had their minds taken over, and they would just like death for Tchalla, death for Tchalla. That's what this is. It's silly.
This page. This the page that Mark is talking. Like this what we talking about. Like it's literally one page of death to the king must die, death to T'Challa, death to the king, kill T'Challa, the king. It's the same thing being said over and over and over again. Like all these dudes, y'all all got the same damn thoughts.
So much so that it makes me think now that it's not just royal or regal talk that Ridley has a problem with. It is just dialogue in general, which is troubling for
in and of itself
of his experience level. But it just feels like you have a hard time putting dialogue together, period. But I digress. T'Challa gets an early jump on the Hatut Zeraze, and it looks like, it's like, oh, let me tease y'all on what y'all want and then give you a whole bunch of shit after. It's like, you gave us these first 2 pages is what I expected to see coming into this book, right? We get to the bottom of the page, and apparently Achille already knew that T'Challa would be prepared for them to be, pursuing him, and that he would fend them off pretty easily. So I guess he sent the hundreds of other Hatut Zeraze delayed. All right, let me send 7 of y'all out there first, and I'm gonna send 150 after. You know what I mean? Because that's military strategy. Yeah, that's it right there. The head of the Hatut Zeraze, that's his master plan. But then we, go to the next page, and we see him running in. Everybody is saying,
hold on. And just from a military strategy standpoint, they're all attacking from one direction.
From head on. It's like, I knew it. You knew that I wouldn't just let you flank me. Yeah, Achille knew that you wouldn't just let me flank you either. So he's going to send 100 soldiers the same fucking direction, because that is a good countermeasure to somebody who's expecting to be flanked, right? As if I can't just turn the fuck around and just run. Oh, he knows somebody going to be trying to get behind him. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to send the entire brunt of our force frontal. Full frontal, everybody.
Let me just go ahead and say this.
I have not spent a single day of my life in any type of military branch, and I've played enough Call of Duty to know that that's horseshit. Anybody, a SWAT member, will tell you, all right, you two go around back and Tacey come out. Come on, man, come on.
I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Let's look at this. Because, see, we need to put some respect on T'Challa's name, and I'm going to give Ridley credit for doing some stuff. We're going to give him some credit. Because, they like to say, T'Challa not superhuman. Well, I don't know nobody running up no damn tree. I don't give a damn how skilled he is as an Olympic athlete. And my dog ran up the tree. That's a superhuman thing. My dude climbed up the tree. He leapt up. He outrunning everybody, just like he was in Black Panther, the first movie. He is running up a tree. That's a superpower in and of itself. Marvel, MCU, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Do not wait until you introduce Logan into the MCU to start exploring these Panther-like abilities. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. What Casey Perkins say? Carry the hell on. Oh.
A slight bit of compliment. The inner T'Challa thoughts as the battle was going on is pretty interesting. Right, that shows shows his tactician like abilities, right? He's working through as he's fighting, as he's doing something physical. It
And
seems.
what does he do with the dialogue? Fight like hell. T'Challa ain't finna say fight like hell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He still sounds very American. Still
Yes,
sounds very
yes,
American. Like,
yes, yes.
damn, them years in New York must have did a doozy on him because he just lost every bit of vernacular and vocab that he had from the 20 plus years that he lived in Africa.
Wakandan accent straight gone. Wait, can we go with these powers again where he jumped out of a tree and landed on his feet?
Again,
Stop.
that all sounds very heart-shaped herb-like enhanced human abilities
Yeah,
with
my dog got stop. T'Challa's nothing without the suit. No, he ran up a tree without panther claws, without the suit, jumped out the tree without the suit, and landed on his feet. Can we please stop this foolishness that T'Challa is not a superhuman? Like, I don't want to do that no more. He's not the suit. The suit ain't him. The suit helps, just like Tony's suit helps him, just like Bruce's mini suits help him. I don't want to do just like Steve's shield help him. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't.
yeah. So, surprise, surprise, T'Challa is able to run away because there's no one behind him. And the head Hatut Zeraze gives a call over to his chief Akili and tell him that T'Challa's made it out. Akili tells him to keep closing the box, and if he refuses to surrender, you know what to do. I want us to pay attention to that bit of instruction, right? Like trying to kill T'Challa, the intergalactic emperor of Wakanda, without proof or cause. Let's put that out of our minds for a second because that's just awful writing. But I want that line. Keep closing the box. If he refuses to surrender, you know what to do. Moving out. Keep it in your head. Keep it in your head.
Can I say that, because you and I discussed this before, I think in the past 2 reviews we've done. This is Akili out of nowhere.
Well, hey, no. Leave Akili alone. He's lost. He's lost. He's with a rider.
Leave him alone. Okay.
Yeah, leave him alone. Don't expect nothing from him that makes sense because it only gets worse on this next panel. But that line is important because it's inconsistent in the same damn issue. This is so bad. All right, so we go back over to Falasad and Akili. They are in the Hatut Zeraze headquarters and they're discussing what is going on right now. She seems somewhat confused. T'Challa ran away. T'Challa never runs away. He's a fighter. What is being established in that sentence? What are you trying to flesh out, John? What are you trying to say? Clearly, we see as a reader, yeah, of course he's running, but he's also fighting. What is the surprise and what does that statement mean? T'Challa's running away. Well, he has the entire brunt of his military on his back right now. And superhuman or not, if you are the king of said nation, it would probably behoove you to run and regather yourself as opposed to trying to sit there and murder your entire military. Or maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe a king should slaughter his entire military because he's able to.
You're not tripping. That was the other thing that I looked at. I was like, while I respected the writing of his physical attributes, because they have to have art direction and everything like that. T'Challa is a military strategist in the same breath that we're going to mention Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers is heralded in the Marvel Universe in New York by the Avengers as being a foremost strategist. Mm-hmm. You got Wakandans that's been around T'Challa forever acting like he's stupid. Like, y'all should be afraid of this dude. Because you know who he is and you know who he capable is. But ever since Amalolo said I should have killed you my damn self, nobody has respect. But hold on, watch this. Shuri did do this in Black Panther. So if he ain't getting no respect in the movie, why in the hell am I respecting him to get respect in the comic books? I ain't saying, I'm just saying.
Man, so they're discussing everything that's going on. Falasad asks about Shuri and Amalolola. I can never say that woman's name. Amalolola. And Achilles lets her know that they don't have any communication, so they're just kind of out there shooting in the dark. Shouldn't really worry about them right now. She seems to be questioning, or bless you. She seems to be questioning her decision to order Achilles to kill T'Challa on this page. She says, "Your orders are to kill T'Challa, Achilles. But if he really is isolated," Achilles stops her abruptly. "Madam Prime Minister, you previously tried to deal with T'Challa through legal remedy. That pretty much turned out to be a shit show. This is your Prime Minister. This is your Prime Minister. This is basically the President of the United States. What gives you the gravitas or the clout to be able to speak to this woman like that?" Like what? And then it's like it's almost as if he's trying to show us that Achilles' role in this is bigger than we previously thought, which would eliminate a theory that we had for this series very early on, in which I wouldn't understand why that would be the direction. It feels as though Achilles is being built up to be the big bad and the leader of these assassins, because the shit that he's saying is not making sense. Not making sense. So we previously tried to deal with him through legal remedy, so now we're going to enact a sort of singular martial law. Yeah, I was about to say a singular martial law, because you're not doing this against the greater populace. This is against one person. So now it's okay to assassinate him without a trial because he ran away.
It's one of them things where we go back. It's one of them things where we go back, and shout out to Chillmonger and everything like that. Writing, the writing is important, and I know some people have established writers versus new writers and everything like that. Writers that actually care about the characters, because you're right, the writing, the dialogue, the character development, the inconsistent storyline. Like, we got promised one thing and we were excited. And we don't want to attribute this to change of pace, because we get change of pace writing and everything like that. You have to slow it down. That's not what this is.
It didn't slow down. No, the action didn't slow down. It just stopped making sense.
This is somebody look like me writing a westernized version of Black Panther with westernized verbiage, and that ain't what I was tuning in for. And even the villain that you could have used, I don't know why that villain's showing up someplace else. I'm halfway tempted to start reading that story arc just to see, but I'm like, why didn't that villain show up over here?
Last thing we get on this page here in the headquarters is Achilles going on another one of his mindless rants that's been written into this run several times. T'Challa's a liar, a traitor. He murdered Ja. Where the hell did you get that from? There's not going to be any leniency directed toward him. He's brought this situation on himself. If T'Challa lives, if he dies, that's on him and him alone. Where did you prove that he killed Ja? What's the name? Shuri was able to recreate the entire fight with him, Amalololo, and the assassins. She was able to see the entire thing. You have a witness who said nothing about T'Challa killing Ja. He then subsequently goes out and tries to track down the rest of his war dogs, of his sleeper cell agents. What sense does it make to come to this conclusion, unless Achilles is rotten and he's the big bad?
That's it. That's it.
Which is disappointing, because it should have been Hunter.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing. That's and mind you, this me, hopefully that's the big payoff, because I was looking at the first few pages, I'm like, they sound robotic, so I'm hoping that they being programmed and everything like that. And for this to be such a complete 180 for Achilles, and basically overnight, this is a character turning overnight. So I'm hoping we deserve better as readers, as fans of T'Challa, Black Panther. We deserve better.
As somebody who don't mind going to pick their pools up from the LCS every Wednesday, I'm paying for this, fam. Like I'm not, it's a lot of other ways I could read this book.
Hey, Kaizo would call it lazy writing.
No, this is definitely a Kaizo. This is a Kaizo.
He would call it lazy writing, and everything that you said. That's why it's hard for me to even add to the book, because I'm like, Marcus, you hitting every nail. I don't even know what to say because I want to be excited. You just think about this for a thing. I am a long-standing Black Panther, and I owe it to you guys, you D-Real and everything like that. Saying, hey Theo, get back into the books. I had been from afar, keeping up with the character, but from afar. I was buying Justice League books. I ain't gonna lie, because to me, DC writing was better than Marvel for a while till they started sucking. So to see a character that you held in such prestige, high prestige, and see first how the character was initially created, what the intention was behind that creation, then to see how that character was portrayed, honorably so, early on during the character's creation. 40 years later, I'm looking at this.
Yeah, it's become the norm to have T'Challa being littered with strife. Then, surprise, surprise, we get some more shitty dialogue by John Ridley. Systems on, Shuri says as she goes into her lab in an undisclosed location. Malalola responds, damn, nice joint. Nice joint. Hey, John, I'm going to let you in on a secret, bro. Black people in 2022 don't say nice joint.
No, we don't. And I'm 54, John. We don't say that. John.
We don't say that here.
This is a nice spot. This is a nice setup you got right here.
Oh, it's a nice crib.
Nice
spot. Place.
Man.
Nice joint. Why does it sound like the further we get into this run, the more he trying to take us back to 1970s jive?
See, that ain't even fair, cause man, come on.
No, like come on, man. The more and more we get into this book, the more he trying to turn Tchalla into Luke Cage.
I don't believe John really my age. That's why I don't want to do that. It's like, man, come on, you can't be John, you're not my age, John.
I'm waiting for him to pop out on Achille and be like, break yourself, fool. Break yourself. Tucky. Hey, man.
Systems on. That sounds like something Batman would have said. Don't sound like what we're saying in Bass is Cave, the caverns of Bass. There was nothing. There was no. We couldn't say in Bombay, like we actually got that. We couldn't say in Kosei, like honestly, those that's vibing with us, me and Marcus, while we're reviewing these books and everything like that. Xhosa is the language that they used in the movie. Xhosa, and I don't want to say Swahili, but Xhosa they used two primary African languages. Xhosa was one of them. It's nothing for the writer to incorporate Xhosa, if that's the language that they were speaking in Wakanda, to incorporate that in the book.
Theo, I never thought about this, and then now I'm pissed that I didn't. When I read Benjamin Percy's X-Force, and they have a point where they're going over Mikhail Rasputin or talking about Colossus, they're speaking in Russian. And they let you know that they speaking in Russian, translated from Russian. When we went on Percy's Wolverine, and we went to France, speaking in French. Very early on in the Hickman era of X-Men, we was talking about how they created a language, right? That it was implanted into every mutant's brain. When they speaking in that language, they tell you. Have you seen one time in this entire series since John Ridley has been writing translation from Wakanda?
Nope.
Translation from Wakandan. One time. So you mean everybody in Wakanda this entire time has been speaking English?
I'm sorry. I just found it. The languages that were spoken in the Black Panther movie: English, Korean, Xhosa, and Swahili.
Who was speaking Korean?
I know.
Who was speaking Korean? I don't remember that.
But I thought it was Xhosa and Zulu.
Okay.
So
you said Swahili though. You said Swahili.
Yeah. So I'm like, bruh, we black. I don't care nothing about who you married to. That to me, that's a physical thing. You smashing who you physically attract.
You black. You can't wash off black from marrying white people. That's not how it works. You don't need to defend your blackness for any reason. Just answer the question.
Talking about working. You got this job. You getting paid some change. Me and Marcus contributing to it now, and we ain't living like you. Why you can't? Me and Marcus shouldn't be sitting here knowing that you could have pulled languages, researched some languages, say translated from. This ain't what me and Marcus get paid to do, unless y'all want to hire us.
I was about to say, y'all can pay us. Y'all can definitely pay us.
But yeah, you're not wrong, brother. You like I said, it's gonna be hard for me to give anything because we both at the same place when it comes to the writing.
For sure. So Shuri realizes that Achille has shut down all communications out there in the field, but she has a little bit of recourse. She has a tracker on Tchalla that she was able to put in him through his food.
I like that though.
Oh, you were fond of that?
I like that because to me, if we're looking at who Tchalla is as a person and who Shuri is as a person, they brothers and sisters. He's trained her and everything like that. She his best friend, like in a lot of ways in which Aurora ain't. And so, if she was the little brother, we'd accept it because you following in the big brother's footsteps because big brother don't trust people either. Your little sister, she learned from her big brother. That was like she want to keep up with you.
It would have been easier to take if Fall Aside or Achille put a tracker in him, or somebody who now in this new Wakanda has a responsibility to Wakanda that's outside of their responsibility to the king. That would make more sense to me. My blood sister implanting a tracking device into the food that I'm eating?
Yeah, I'm with that. Because she know how you get down.
Would Tchalla do that to Shuri?
Watch
this. He
sneaks
a tracker into her body?
You asking me the question. If you're going to ask me that, if you're looking for me to answer, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. And it's not for I don't trust you. It's not that I don't trust you. It's if something happened to you, I need to make sure you're ready.
But see, why wouldn't you be able to tell him that? Why wouldn't you be able to say that to Shuri?
You know that how they get. Tchalla don't tell nobody nothing. Now that's one thing that's been consistent. He is a closely guarded person. Always has been, and I can take that. So if he can be closely guarded and he trained his sister and she adopted his philosophies, then I could see her doing something, looking after her brother and not telling him. Because he'll dip and not tell her where he at in a minute. But I'm looking for him to do the same thing to her because she would do the same thing.
So then let's put it back on Ridley then. Throughout this book, who has been the one person consistently that Tchalla has told all of his secrets to? Has not withheld information. She knows the full run of everything, all the players that are involved. Who's the one person in this book who's gotten all the information?
Shuri.
So if that's the case, you're the only one that's getting full, unbridled, open communication from your brother. If that is the character that she is and that he is in this book, why is it necessary to sneak a tracker into him? Why is it necessary? You are the only one that he's talking to. You're the only one that he confides in. You're the only one that he tells the truth. He told you the truth about the sleeper cell agents from jump.
This is me stepping outside the story arc, out of this specific story arc.
Oh, no. Put it on Ridley. Because you're telling me that historically that this reads, and I'll take that.
Lazy writing. If I say that,
say it. Right. Because if it's historic and it's valid, then it's valid. I can't take that away. But from what you showed me in this book, there is no reason that you would need to sneak a tracker into this man because you're the only person that he trusts to tell stuff to.
See, that's where it's like, I'm glad we're doing it because see, you looking at this specific story arc and you're not wrong in looking at this specific story arc saying she shouldn't have to do that. I'm looking at everything like, nah, you got to keep up with this dude. Like this dude, look, he'll dip in a minute. Like he was gone for damn now, I don't know how long in a whole damn black hole. So you got to keep up with him. But since we're not exploring anything that came before this particular story arc.
Oh, we are. We're going to, just not any of the stuff that you want.
I'm saying like him. since we ain't paying homage to what came before, I get where you at. I get
So,
where you at.
all right, so Shuri does say that she's going to call in some backup for T'Challa, and that prompts us to switch back over to the field where T'Challa is run back into the Hatut Zeraze, and man, they was able to flank him pretty quickly this time, weren't they? That's crazy. That's crazy. We're gonna plan a full frontal attack on you the first time because we know you're expecting to get flanked. But the second time, we're gonna flank you, and it's gonna be real easy because
he stood there waiting on him. I guess he was standing there, in the wide open field, waiting on him, waiting.
Anyways, cool. So they surround T'Challa, and it looks like T'Challa is going to get scraped because I don't know, somehow in between the first time he fought 7 people and the second time he fought, 7 people, his hand-to-hand combat skills, like this guy's got worse. So he gets shot, takes a shot to the abdomen, seems to draw some blood or scar or somewhat, but they are able to subdue him, right?
Can I go ahead and say that I say don't have any superhuman abilities?
Cool, that's good to say.
Vibranium mesh uniforms, that's it. But the dude who they kicking upside the head
has the heart-shaped herb pumping through his veins.
Right. If you saw Falcon and the Winter Soldier and you saw John Walker throwing people through the air after he took the Super Soldier Serum,
Dog in the Falcon and Bucky at the same time.
Yeah, that's what this, and mind you, Bucky is a super soldier. That's what T'Challa is. Like Super Soldier Serum, heart-shaped herb. Same thing, come from 2 different places. But if Steve can do it, then T'Challa can do it too. I ain't saying, I'm just thinking. So this whole thing where people just kicking him, no, I'm supposed to be seeing bodies flying left and right.
So
that put the ass in the whole damn elevator.
So T'Challa is now on his knees with a gun to his temple. Now remember that quote that from Achille I told you to remember, right? If he refuses to surrender, you know what to do. What is on your knees with no weapon and a gun to your head look like to you other than surrender? What is on both of your knees with a gun to your melon say to you other than surrender?
You mean with your head bowed down
and surrounded at this point? So you just put a bullet in his head just because?
With your head when your head like this, and you looking down at the ground.
Yeah. So you was just gonna smoke him because? Another issue that I'm having with this is that this is a military that 24 hours ago, at their dying loyalty, swore to this king. You telling me every single one of them is going along with this bullshit? They are sworn to protect the crown. I'm sorry, that's the Dora Milaje. But they know that's like Obama left office in 2016. Right? And if somebody start a rumor about Obama, or there's chatter about Obama being a traitor, for some reason, the current White House, which would have been Trump, orders you to go take out Obama. You don't think it would have been any generals, any lieutenant sergeants, anybody along the rank and file that would have bucked this? No one. Nobody. You would have been able to send the full brunt of the American military after a former American president?
I got you another one. Just to add on top of that. You ready? T'Challa. T'Challa might be surrendering. He not on one knee. He's standing. You might have a gun to his head. He ain't bowing down. He looking down the barrel of that gun. And he gonna tell you what the lick read. If you kill me, you killing your king. So do what you feel like you gotta do. He ain't taking no knee. That's what I said.
The gods will open the sky and strike you down.
Yeah, like that's don't you man, no, you writing for a king. Tap into that. You ain't talking to nobody like that when you're a king.
And then how you go from that to, oh shit, honestly, I was bluffing. You making him seem like a pussy, man. Like honestly, like I'm beyond annoyed. He seems like a weakling, like a weakling. You writing T'Challa like they writing David DaCosta in Sword.
No. Don't say it. He writes T'Challa like somebody else wrote T'Challa.
We talking about?
T'Challa a joke in this book. People just disrespecting T'Challa, talking T'Challa sideways and everything like that. Hell, I got that in 2018.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna tell the truth to shame the devil. We don't T'Challa ain't being treated like royalty. Oh, that's part of course. The subject talking to him sideways. That's part of course. Now, mind you, if I want to give somebody a little bit of leeway, I give him a little bit of leeway because that T'Challa was a newly crowned king. This dude is established and people talking to him sideways. It's amazing how art is starting to imitate what we saw on the film.
That is why I say you cannot put the full responsibility of how terrible this book is at John Ridley's feet. You can't. You can't because the editor okayed this. Watch this. Kevin Feige okayed not just the hire, but the direction of the book because he's in charge of the comics and the films. He's over both.
And what is he trying to do?
In the midst of all of this stuff going on with Black Panther 2, recasttchalla, all of that stuff, that he does not have his hand on the Black Panther comic.
Right.
You foolish if that's what you think.
What did the young lady say? And I'm gonna give her props in the world. The young lady that's playing Kamala Khan.
Oh yeah. Oh man, hey, she's a trooper. She's a trooper.
And that right there, I have respect for her at that age in which I lost respect for those that are twice, 3 times her age. She stood in the paint and stood tall. Got the job because of her comic book knowledge. Based on that comic book knowledge, when somebody put the microphone in her hand, in her face, she didn't say what somebody wanted her to say, what they wanted her to say. She spoke truth. I don't care what he says. 616 is in the comics. This 1999, whatever this is right here. I don't care what he said. Come on, somebody. It makes me ask.
It's so silly anyways, because it's not like she making it up. You made it canon. And then, okay. So you come out in Loki and you definitively define our Earth as 199999 whatever. Right? And then you come out in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness and you try to designate it 616.
We'll watch this.
Fam. You already designated it. You made it MCU canon already.
Watch this. Because you got your talking pieces out there, your mouthpieces out there, they ready to go after this young lady just embarrass you. So what you sit back and you say, you holler at your mouthpieces that be on YouTube, like myself and Marcus and everything like that, and they go out there and say, well, you know what? It could be 616 because, I mean, you was on Earth 838. Why wouldn't Earth 38 refer to Earth 1?
Why would they convolute it anymore with them misrepresenting the Earth we have?
It's too many people out here that's got comic book in their description and don't care anything about comic. It's just to get paid, just to get clicks and everything like that. I said it once, I'm gonna say it again. People that's rocking with me and you and everything like that, don't just take our word for it. Just like they say in church, go read it for yourself. Once you read that knowledge, you get that knowledge. Nobody will ever be able to take that knowledge away from you. What we have going on right now in comics, it's
we got a lot of Wikipedia comic artists.
Nobody wants Wikipedia comic artists. And they don't want to tell the story. Yeah. They don't want to just tell the story. We've been members of the LGBTQ. We've been knew Destiny and Mystique were in a relationship when I was in high school.
Did I say that here, or am I having a flashback from?
You might be having a flashback, but we knew that then.
I literally brought this up today. I don't know if I said it on this video or when we was recording out there.
When I was in high school, John Byrne did an excellent job in introducing those characters' sexuality in the book, so we knew who they were. But the story was about the superheroes. We've been knew that at least Mystique is bisexual. So we know she loved Destiny, but we know at the very least, Kurt Warner's her damn son. At the very least.
Hey, Kurt Wagner and Kurt Warner.
My bad, Kurt Wagner. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and these stories were naturally told. Mm-hmm. There was an organic unpackaging of these stories. Now everybody wants to either tell their story. They're not trying to tell the superhero story. They want to tell their story. Or they want to use the superhero story to push an agenda. That's why the superhero stories are bad.
So hold on to that point, because oh boy, we got a doozy coming up. If you thought the criticism wasn't bad so far, it's going to get even worse. So, right as T'Challa is about to take one to the dome from a random soldier, lo and behold, wifey shows up and tells him it's not the gods protecting you, it's just me. But I thought Storm was a goddess. I thought she considered herself a goddess. I thought the Wakandans consider her. You know what? Never mind. Because I keep expecting, coherent writing, and it's just, we asking for too much. So she clears out the rest of the Hatut, and no time is wasted, and she starts in on him immediately. You lied to me. I'm gonna shock you again in your already injured ribs. You come to my house and you lie? Oh, I'm sorry. I had it in the wrong spot. So I thought he said, Storm, please, let's talk. He says he does call her Storm, but he says that as he's thanking her for helping her. T'Challa's not calling her Storm. You think Jay-Z would ever call Beyonce? Well, that's her literal name. That's a bad example.
He would never call her Queen B.
He would never call her Queen B.
He'd be like, unless it's Regal or something like that, other than AOB.
They call her B or Bay, something like that. He's not calling her by her stage name.
No, my wife's name is Alicia. I do not call her Alicia. I call her Alicia. My name is Gerald. My wife calls me Theo.
Like, if you go by a stage name or you have some sort of alias, your closest former lover, ex-husband is not going to be calling you Storm. But anyways, right? So Storm's pissed and she's going in on him. We'll come back to Storm and T'Challa in a second. More interesting news on the way. Back to the headquarters, and it is Folasade and Akili. They let them know that Storm was able to assist T'Challa getting away. And now, all of a sudden, Akili's attitude changes. The entire game has changed. And Folasade is more interested in checking him on all the bullshit that she has been fed up until this point. You told me it was alone. You told me we'd get him quick. You told me, and Achilles like, hey, look, we can rehash how wrong I was after we find T'Challa. We can rehash that after we find T'Challa. But none of you understand, because this means that T'Challa has sold out to the mutants. Why? And this has been a common theme that's popped up for several characters. T'Challa, Shuri, Folasade, Akili, Amalalola. All of them have done this knee-jerk reaction, jump to a conclusion bullshit at some point in this book. And now we're going so far as to say that T'Challa has foregone his loyalty to Wakanda. Remember, we're still talking about an intergalactic emperor. He's not just the leader of Wakanda Prime, leader of Wakanda everywhere. Has foregone his loyalty to Wakanda to throw his lot in with the Araco mutants because his ex-wife showed up to save his life.
You know how you just talked about the intergalactic empire of Wakanda? That honestly should have been where that phone call was sent when he needed help.
Don't get me started. He is, for some reason or another, he is diligent about ignoring that run. There was one throwaway comment about it in the first two issues when they were going through the Parliament, right? And he has not mentioned a single thing from Ta-Nehisi Coates' run whatsoever, which would lead you to believe he's trying to do his own thing, right? No, I'm gonna let y'all see.
So my question is, that's a war you could probably win, or at the very least tie, if T'Challa and Shuri are running things Wakanda versus Krakoa.
Sure.
You gonna get your head handed to you. Because T'Challa ain't got to be on the side of the mutants. He could just be missing. You gonna get your head handed to you if T'Challa and Shuri not running things in Wakanda. And that's the other
It's
thing.
over. It's over. If you don't have Black Panther or Shuri in Wakanda, when a Rocco or Krakoa come knocking, it's over. It's done. You just
Rocco, Krakoa, what to do, King and Black, don't matter. It's a wrap.
Hey, put the shields up and barricade. That's your best bet. That's your best bet.
So
put the shields up and barricade.
We didn't talk about it, we didn't talk about Marvel editorial and everything like that. Once again, it's just bad. It's just bad writing.
It means we're going to war.
You're not. You're not going to go to war with Krakoa. You know better than that.
Who declared war on you?
So the prime minister is going to be okay with the leader of the Hatut Zeraze saying, let's declare war.
Declaring war?
On mutant.
Because a former citizen, a former queen of this nation, showed up to save her ex-husband. That's a declaration of war? Yeah, I'm asleep too.